Hey, wow, that's a gambo quail. And today we are in Oregon Pipe Cactus National Forest, down at the southern border of Arizona and Mexico, at the Twin Peaks Campground. This place is amazing, and nobody's here. Look at this. There's a beautiful sunrise. Wow. All the birds are waking up. Our creosote bush here. There's a great saguaro here. Wow. This is our beautiful moonset out to the west. And there's our great Oregon pipe cactus right there. Just fantastic. Wow. So anyway, today we're going on a hike on Victoria Mine, which is out here. It's a 4.5 mile hike out and back, just a little bit of a loop. And down there is Mexico. And I'll show you all these great shrubs and plants and trees and other wonderful stuff we can see. One more look at our beautiful quail singing away in the morning. So here we are at the bottom of the campground of Twin Peaks. And this is the beginning of the Victoria Mine Sonita Basin Trails. All right out here. We're going to start here. Simply do a 2.2 miles out to Victoria Mine, then head back. So 4.5 miles. It'll take us about 4 hours. Look at all these cool little mining ruins. We've got our creosote bushes and our jumping cholla. Got a little ambrosia right here, a little brisage. I'll tell you about the trail and all these beautiful plants. Look at that, saguaro. Wow, amazing. Lots of other trails here. Victoria Mine, Lost Cabin, Sonita Basin, Red Tanks, Tahija, and Baker Mine. Baker Mine's 7.2 miles, kind of far. No dogs and no bikes. So it's going to be a pretty fun little hike because we got lots and lots of things to look at. All of our cacti and our shrub and maybe some birds like a quail or a Gila woodpecker. Wow, that's our Oregon pipe cactus. Look at that. Just beautiful. So the trail here starts at the southwestern end of the campground. It's pretty easy to moderate. Generally flat like we see here. There's a couple ups and downs for the arroyos or the washes. The mine's 2.2 miles from the trailhead. When you get there, all the mine shafts are closed and fenced off, but I'll give you the whole history of the mine when we get there. Like I said, it's pretty easy at moderate trail. It takes 3 to 4 hours to walk it. Look at this guy here. He's got a bunch of mistletoe growing on him. This is one of our Palo Verdes. See that? It's all green. No leaves. Look at this. So he sheds all his leaves when he gets in summertime or drought times or too hot. He sheds his leaves and he's got chlorophyll in his branches and his stems. That's why he's green. So he still does photosynthesis. Even without leaves. This here is a mistletoe. Right here, he's a fungus or a parasite. Well, parasite we'll call him. Phorandendron, he's a type of desert mistletoe. All right, we got our jumping chollas here. Wow. And I'll show you all these cool plants as we get farther down the trail. It's amazing here. This is the best kept secret of the Sonoran Desert. All these beautiful saguaros. Just check it out. Here we have an ocotillo, a little guy here. Fuchsia resplendens. Right now he's got no leaves, but he's got huge, huge thorns. Look at that. Giant thorns on this guy. A little bit of green in the bark. That's the chlorophyll. He could photosynthesize without the leaves. Right, little creosote here. This guy here is a staghorn cholla. Right here. All right, we'll find that guy all up and down the trail as well. So here we go. This guy here is a little ironwood. Olnea tosota. He's just a little guy. He's got gray bark. When he gets older, he'll turn all black and scraggly. He's got multi-trunks coming out of the base here. He's got these tiny, tiny little leaves with tinier leaflets. A little ovate there. They always come to a little point, right? There's an odd number of leaflets, so they always kind of come to a point at the end. It's kind of like a zigzag plant, right? Zigzag, zigzag, all the way up to the top. This little ironwood. So he's pretty young. He might get 25, 30 feet tall when he's older. Check out all these cool things. Up here, these are Ocotillo, Fuchsia splendens. This guy here is the end of his flowering cycle. You see there, about a month ago he had super red flowers. Now they're a little pinkish, going to seed. Look real close here, see that? So he's kind of all used up. He's starting to go into seed right there, see that? Really cool, and he's got these great thorns, but he lost all his leaves. Wow. Here's our Saguaro Cactus, Carnegiea gigantea. Gets Carnegiea as his genus. It comes from Andrew Carnegie. He's got little spent flowers up there that are going to fruit. The bees love this guy. Wow, so this guy here is probably about 30 or 40 years old. He hasn't branched out yet. They branch out at about age 50 or even 75. So they get pretty old. This is our Creosote Bush Larrea tridentata. You see them all over the place here. Here, here, here. They grow wild out in Mojave, Sonoran deserts, like most prominent plant you'll find out there in the desert. It's called a tridentata because at the very tips of his leaves here, the very end ones, kind of made of 3 little leaves or leaflets, and it gives him the word trident, tridentata, as his species. Wow, this guy here is an ambrosia. Okay, he's just called our common burweed. Okay, look at that little ambrosia plant, and his little flowers went to seed, and he's got this really spiny seed pack there. See that? That's why he's called a burweed. All right, Ambrosia Cynopodifolia. That's his name, and he's all brittle like this, and he's related to our other ambrosias like Ambrosia dumosa, Ambrosia salsola, Ambrosia deltoidea, or deltoidea, which you'll find up here as well. Look at all these cool guys. Look at that Saguaro. Amazing. This guy here is a Staghorn Cholla, Cylindropuntia acanthocarpa. Acanthocarpa means spiny fruit. He's got these little flowers coming in. They're going to fruit. They get all spiny, and the spines will attach to a little critter, like a kit fox or little animals, and stick to their fur, carries across the desert, and he resprouts. So this guy here is a staghorn. See, he kind of looks like, you know, the staghorn horns on like a big sheep. Wow. More creosote. This is Palo Verde. Look how green he is. Amazing. Another ambrosia here, burweed. Wow, these are jumping chollas. This is a big one here. Wow. Here we have another one of our jumping chollas. He's real scraggly. Look up here. We have a cactus wren nest right there. Little cactus wren. He's all tall and scraggly though. But he sends off his little, segments here, right? And they just fall off so easily. And they stick to somebody's fur. They bring them around the desert. So this guy here, he's a Cylindropuntia fulgida, or fulgida. You can say it either way, it's okay. But watch this, you just go like that. These little burrs, see how they just fall right off. I'll bring them around the desert. you never get them off, so you gotta use a rock or something. But you always get little spines in your shoes and your socks. It's kind of annoying. Stay on the trail. See how easy this trail is? Not too bad. This guy here is one of our Opuntias. This is a Opuntia engelmanii, our Engelmann's prickly pear. See that? He's got these great white little spines or thorns coming out. And up here he's already flowered, he's going to fruit. Right? He's edible. You could peel off his pads and take all the spines out and fry them up like zucchini. So don't mix them up with the desert prickly pear, which is the different Opuntia acantha that has super brown spines. All right, this is a Engelmann's prickly pear, or creosote. There's one of our ironwoods here. Just beautiful. Wow. This is a little Saguaro. See, this guy is probably about 10 years old. This is as big as he gets. You know, it takes him about 2 or 3 years just to get about that tall. Then he grows faster, and then he grows slower after that. See, there's a little guy here. He's, I don't know, 10 years old, and this guy here is probably 50 years old. He's pretty tall. Here we have another ironwood, but look at this Palo Verde. It's absolutely huge. Wow, he loves to grow in this little wash area, a little arroyo. Arroyo is just Spanish for a seasonal creek. So, you know, 10 or 11 months of the year, this is all dry. Whenever there's little monsoons or rainfalls, it kind of flows down and dries up again. But some of our little shrubby trees here, like the Palo Verdes and the ironwoods, like this guy, they just love to grow in these little wash areas. So this ironwood's a lot older than the last one I showed you. See how dark and scraggly his bark starts to get, and he spreads out and he gets all woody. Look at that. Okay, he's got thorns on him. Little pairs of thorns at the right where the nodes are, where the leaves and the leaflets come out. It's kind of the roughest part of the trail, just these little ups and downs through the arroyos. Not a problem. Another one of our ambrosias here. This guy's here a little bit different. This is a Ambrosia deltoidea, or deltoidea. Okay, he kind of looks like a brittle bush, but he's a triangle leaf ambrosia. See, he has leaves here. I'll pull it off. Little triangle leaf shape there. So we have 2 types of ambrosias out here. Or ragweeds, or burweeds, they call them. Right, this guy I just showed you. And you know, you pick his flowers here. If he's not really burr-like, and he's most likely a triangle leaf. And this guy here, he's got little triangle leaves on him. And if his little flower heads are really burry, then he's just called the common burweed. Let's see here. See this guy here? It's the same genus. This is the Ambrosia Cynopodophylia, okay, which is a common burweed here, and this is the Ambrosia deltoidea, which is the triangle leaf burweed. Isn't that amazing? Right next to each other. The creosote. So this is our beautiful Oregon pipe cactus, Stenoserius thurberi. Wow. Here's a small one though. He's got multi trunks down here, and he comes out. It's called a stovepipe cactus as well, or an Oregon pipe cactus, because he looks like, you know, like a church organ coming up like that. Okay, more cool stuff. I'm gonna find you some little guys as well up the trail. Look at this hodgepodge. We got our Palo Verdes and our ironwood and our ambrosias. This guy here, he's a root parasite. He's called a Crymeria. And 2 different species of this guy. One is called a Cremeria erecta. And I think that's what this guy is here. So he's a root parasite, and he's going to send down his roots here. And he taps into one of our Asteraceae, like the Ambrosia plants. And he sucks all the nutrients out of that plant here. That's how he grows. And he's all leaved out, but he's got little red flowers just on the end of their cycle here. See that? Usually they're really bright crimson flowers, but they're at the end of their cycle. You see them all over the place up here. They get wet, they get real like black and shiny. They're really cool. It's called a Cremeria. Hey, here's one of our barrel cacti. He kind of looks like a California barrel cactus, but he's a southwestern barrel cactus. Ferocactus emoryi. He's got these long central spines coming out of his aerial here. They're a little bit hooked at the end there. See that? Tiny bit hooked, but not like you'd find on a fishhook cactus. Just a little bit. He's got these big long ribs that come up. Look at that. He's got these little aerials along the ribs. It sends out a long central spine, then smaller spines down here. And don't mess with him because he'll just stick you. He flowers up here. His flowers are kind of spent, so he's kind of done. But he gets real bulbous like this because he just retains a ton of water. And he always likes to lean to the south, like all of our other barrel cacti out in Sonoran and Mojave deserts. So we call him sometimes a hook barrel cactus. He's got these little hooks on him. Ferocactus emoryi, right next to our creosote bush. Cool. Hey, here's a really tall saguaro. Look at that. And the flowers up here, that's the state flower of Arizona. Right there. The bees love this guy. So you see these ribs? They go up vertically. And then little spines come out of the aerials on the ribs. And over here we have a dead one. Show what the ribs look like. See that? It's almost like wood. So he's hollow inside and fibrous. These ribs come out like this. See that? And right in between you're going to find the spines and the aerials. But he's really woody. Look at that. So you could use this for all sorts of burning or building or peel the fibers off. You probably twist them together, make something. But up here we have an organ cactus. And I'll show you his little skeleton structure. It's a bit different. It's an acatillo right here, or Palo Verde. Here's our organ pipe. And one of his, a couple of his stems are dying off, but look at the way this guy works. Okay, he's got the same sort of ribs here. See the ribs coming up? And little aerials. And his naked skeleton here, he's also woody, but the ribs are a lot tighter together. Look at this guy's peeling back. See how big those, call them the fibers are, or the fibers within fibers. They split up like this. Really cool. Look at that. Don't touch them because these little thorns get in you, and then you never get them out. Not sure what happened to this guy. Maybe old age or water or something else. He's got little flower buds right there. Turned to fruit. Look at that. Right there. Very cool. So that's pretty neat. It's kind of hollow inside too. Little hole right there. A little bit hollow inside his skeleton. See right there? Sometimes you can take these and cleave them together and tie them together. You make a little pipe. Move water around. That's our organ pipe. Stenoserius thurberai. The trail continues down to Mexico here. All the way almost to the big old border wall or border fence. So here's another skeleton. This is a skeleton of our jumping Cholla right here. See that? Different sort of structure. Super fibrous. Look at all these fibers in there. tiny little holes. And he embedded his roots down here. And he falls down, so at one time he's, you know, up like this. And he ages and falls to the ground right here. So you can also take this guy, he's hollow inside, make a little pipe too. Oh, it's like here, another jumping Cholla. Cylindropuntia fulgida. He jumps down, little segments like that guy fell on the ground. He'll attach to your shoe or a little kit fox or, you know, any other little animal carrying around the desert.
Just like the one on the right side of your right shoe.
Oh, just like that guy. See that? Already stuck to me. So you always have to get a rock or something and kind of get them off.
And you got a bunch of spears in your shoe.
And there's spears in my shoe, and they'll never go out either. So be careful when you do your laundry at home, because all those thorns get in all your clothes. Here we have another southwestern barrel cactus. See that? He's a little guy, a lot more roundish, and he's young. He's got much more fish hooky. Look at that. Fish hooky spines are coming in. There's tons and tons of these guys that all look alike. All these little barrel cacti and these Ferocactus genus. So you mix them up a lot. But that's what this guy is. It's pretty cool. So here's a little cool factoid. Here's our Palo Verde. She operates as a nurse plant. And that means other plants will seed and start to grow underneath her, because she provides lots of shade and kind of messes up the soil conditions so they can root and grow easier. So we have a creosote here, and then we have a little ambrosia plant down here. This is our burweed. See that? Ragweed. Okay. And then here we have another ambrosia here underneath our Palo Verde. And over here, it's a little nurse plant for a saguaro growing in. Look at that. Just fantastic. So they grow right down here, and then they grow up, and eventually they might even outcompete the Palo Verde, send her on her way. That's how these little nurse plants work. So the ironwood, also a great nurse plant, too. So here we have a saguaro. We also have a Oregon pipe cactus right next to it, under the host of our little nurse here. Wow, this is amazing here. Look at these saguaro. These guys are about 40 feet tall, armed out. Look at this one, way up there. 40 feet means he's about 150 years old, might be 200 years old. So he branches out when he gets about 75 years old, right? And they add it, kind of double him a little more. It's like almost 200 years old for this guy. Wow, he's got a little hole up there. It's probably caused by a Gila woodpecker. Makes his nest in these saguaros. He's flowering here, way up there. Look at that. Just fantastic. Man, look at these beautiful flowers on a saguaro. Look at that. Bees love this plant. Just gorgeous. I'll pan back, show you how big he is. Just huge. Holy smokes. Wow. That's a Gila woodpecker. There he goes. He's got a nest right there. So that's a little fellow that drills all the holes in our saguaros. And then he'll wait like 3 months while the hole kind of solidifies, calluses, and he'll move in, raise his young. Then when he leaves, the new birds come in, like the owls or cactus wren, other little birds. Look at him. It's a Gila woodpecker. Hey, check out this guy here. Little cactus, little hedgehog. He's really, really rare. This is a Nichols Hedgehog Cactus, or a golden hedgehog cactus. He's kind of serious Nicolii. Look at that. Everybody mixes him up with the Engomanii or the strawberry hedgehog, but he's not. He's a lot taller, a lot more golden. Then that's Engelmann's hedgehog. Look at him, he's got these beautiful, beautiful golden spines, and the central one's always longer and whiter than the other ones, but not too much, and they start to drag. See how they point downwards like that? The central ones always go downwards, and the other ones kind of go up more. So he's super rare. You only find him out here in like Oregon Pipe and southern Arizona. Wow, all along the trail here at Oregon Pipe. We're gonna keep going down to the border in the Victoria Mine. Wow, this is really, really cool. You gotta come here. So this is really cool. This is our Cremeria, who's a root parasite. He's probably feeding off of this guy here, our common ragweed, Ambrosia Ambrosia. And we have a creosote here. Here's a little Staghorn Cholla. And out in the Mojave Desert, you find these creosotes, and always next to them is a Ambrosia dumosa. But the dumosa is always about 3 or 4 feet apart because the creosote sends out a little enzyme that stops the growth of the Ambrosia dumosa. But this fellow here, the Ambrosia Ambrosia, which is the common ragweed, somehow he's able to grow right underneath our creosote bushes. So look how burry he is. That's why he's called a common burweed or ragweed or burr bush. Really, really sticky. Somehow this ambrosia is able to overcome the little enzymes that affect its sister, the Ambrosia dumosa, which is a white bursage. Look cool. Factoid. Not sure why, but that's the way things are out here in the desert. Hey, here we have another Staghorn Cholla. Cylindropuntia acanthocarpa, means spiny fruit, right? It's got the flowers, and little fruits are forming just underneath the flowers here. Little bulbs get all super spiny, and then he'll fall to the ground. And like this guy here, he'll re-root right down there, and he'll grow up like its own little plant. See how spiny he gets when he's young from the all these little spines, little seeds down here, and segments. All these guys have the potential to grow into a new little Staghorn Cholla we have here. Beautiful, beautiful plant with the segments coming out, and these long tubercles, little areoles with these little spines here. See how thorny that fruit is right there coming in? Acantho means sword or spine or thorn, and carpa means fruit. So acanthocarpa means spiny fruit. That's pretty cool. Wow, just check out this beautiful forest out in the desert here. Just gorgeous. We have another one of our Nichols cacti here. Right, little hedgehog. He's a little guy. He'll grow up to have 30 segments all around him, like our other friends. A little more Cremeria here, little Ambrosia, and ironwood. So the ironwood is also a nurse plant. And look at that, ironwood next to a Palo Verde. Look at these beautiful, beautiful little habitat here. Ocotillo, jumping cholla, all sorts of cool stuff. On the trail still, we're about halfway. How about that? This is really fun. Wow. Look at this beautiful guy. He's got that like zebra striped tail on him. Let's scurry away for us. This shrub here is called a White-thorn Acacia. Almost like a cat claw. He's Vachellia constricta. He's a Fabaceae. He's got these tiny little leaflets. Little tiny leaflets there. Look at that. Coming out. Almost like an ironwood almost. He's got these flower pods left over, and they'll turn to seed pods. On this guy, he's really, really common out here. He's got thorns on him too. Sort of like a cat claw, but not quite. Little thorns right there. See that? Let's see, I'll get a better thorn. Right there. See those little thorns right there? Wow. White-thorn Acacia Vachellia constricta. That's this guy here. Here we have another butterfly. Let's check him out. Right down there. Oh, beautiful little guy. Brown wings, white spots on the end. See that? Oh, look at that. Outside wing is white and silvery. Check out his little antennae. He's got little white dots on the end of his antennae there. Oh, there he is. He's flapping. Sometimes they flap a little just to keep a little bit energized. So if I spook him, he can fly away real fast. Look at that. Wow. I'm really close to him. Anyway, he's really cute. Look at this one here. Little Palo Verde, he's gone to seed. See that? Little seed pod. And what you do, you just open these guys up and little seeds there. Look like peas. Okay. And you eat them. And they're really tasty. So you never starve out here in the desert. Hey, here we got another wild weedy shrub right in this wash. This is another Ambrosia. Ambrosia Ambrosioides. He's always called a canyon ragweed, or in Spanish he's a chicura. And he grows really wild out here. He totally looks different than other Ambrosias. But he's super resilient in these washes here, and sends out these big, almost Solanaceae type leaves here, and they're real sticky. See that there? Is how hairy they are down there? Super sticky and hairy. That's how you know this guy. He's all rough edges and he's wavy, a little bit lobed. He's got no flowers on him today, but he's basically a super common weed, a chicura. That's what we call him. Oh wow, all these cool plants. Little arroyo here, little wash, and more stairs on the way to our Victoria mine. All right, check out this little guy here. Just don't step on him. He's called a little desert trumpet, Eriogonum trichopes. He's related to the big desert trumpet, Eriogonum inflatum, just a little variety. Look at this guy. Super brittle, old growth from last year. See that? But this year he's got these beautiful green little stems come up to the flowers. Whole bunch all over the place here. Starts out as this little rosette down here, sends up this little stalk. It separates and spreads, and they tee off. And they tee off more, and they keep teeing until you get these little tiny yellow flowers there. Look at that. Amazing. And then his big brother, the Eriogonum inflatum, gets big bubble right in the middle here. These guys get little bubbles. If you can find them, you can always find them on these little desert trumpets here. See that right there? He's all over the place. Got some big batch right here. Wow. Eriogonum trichopes. Look what's left of this Saguaro. He's struck by lightning, I bet. Look at this, everything's green. He's all burned here and scarred. All sappy in there. Look at that. Lightning just nailed him right here. Split him down. And he fell to the ground all the way up here. That's really bitchin'. So we've gone 1.8 miles from Twin Peaks Camp up this trail. It's pretty easy. It takes a long time if you stop at every plant like we did. Beautiful flat area up here. And you come to a little intersection. On the left here is Victoria Mine, which goes this way. Just take a right-hand turn out to Lost Cabin Mine and some other sites farther down this way. So we're going to go to Victoria Mine, 0.3 miles left of our 2.1 mile hike up here in this beautiful, unbelievable organ pipe cactus national forest. So I hope this is really fun for you guys, because I'm having a great time. Look at all this cool stuff. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Look at these jumping Chollas and Ocotillos, Ambrosias, Staghorn here, little Staghorns, Creosotes. There's a little Saguaro here. Look at these beautiful Saguaros. We got another White-thorn Acacia Vachellia. He's called a white-thorn. See that? White thorns on these guys. That's how you know. There's a white-thorn acacia with these beautiful yellow flower puffs. So we're almost at the mines. All right, we made it to Victoria Mine. Right here. Starts out with this little iron wheel. Little adobe workhouse here. And I hope you enjoyed our little walk and our little nature hike with all of our natural shrubs and trees and plants, butterflies, birds, a couple lizards. And we're going to stop this video now and I'll jump to a new video all about the Victoria Mine. Look at this place. Absolutely beautiful here. No kidding. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great time. Talk to you later. Bye.